Good morning, everybody. It's about 6:20 a.m. I'm wearing my donut pajamas, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I gotta do a little stretch in the knee, you know what I'm saying? Stretch. Do a little. Another day of life on Earth. I wanted to do a little story time. Now, I have been wanting to tell this story since it occurred. It occurred in my junior year of high school. I'm 23 now. I graduated in 2015. So it's a few years back. It's crazy how time flies. Take a few breaths here before I get into this. Feel free to join with me. One more. So, junior year of high school, one night out of nowhere, I was coming back from this music class that I used to partake in, and I remember I got like a Little Caesars pizza my mom bought me. She knew I was going to hang out, at my friend's house down the road, and so show up to this friend's house who like it would be a normal time because like it'd be normal just to go over there after rehearsals I did, or just like I don't think I had a job at a time, but getting out of school or whatever and just going to hang out. Everyone hung out down at this person's house. It was kind of like the neighborhood hangout. You go kick it in the garage on the couches, and like all the homies are always there, or there's always people coming through to kick it, and it's always just an interactive social time. So I go there, bring a pizza through, like, what's going on, guys? I sit down. A lot of times we would just, smoke some bowls, drink some beers, and just chill it. Some Cobra 32 beers, by the way. But anyways, one night I go over there and happen to have the pizza, right? And I sit down, and we're all talking, we're hanging out for a moment. And one of my friends threw me a bag of shrooms out of nowhere. A big old bag, like a sandwich bag that was pretty packed. Like, it was a lot, it was a lot in there. I don't know exact amounts, but definitely a lot. And it landed on my lap. I was like, man, yeah, awesome, sounds good. Yeah, I've done them before. Kind of naive, a little bit like, yeah, and I probably had eaten shrooms like twice before this, or 3 times maybe, and it was very micro, very just dipping the toes in the water. So, that being said, this time, like, yeah, I've done it before. Right on. Thanks, man. Start eating them. Grab a piece of the pizza, that I just had brought, and threw the shrooms on top. Started eating them. And I'm just like, yeah, cool. Like, I'm gonna blaze, drink some beers, eat some shrooms. Like, yeah, it's all good. I'm in this little garage, right? And surrounded by too many people, especially for those people not to be tripping too. Instantly, quicker than any trip. Like I said, I hadn't done it much times before, but I did do it a few times before this, so I was kind of like a little overconfident with it, right? And instantly, quicker than any trip I've ever experienced, it started hitting me quicker. The visuals way more intense than any trip I had ever experienced, and right away, this was not even 20 minutes after I'd eaten them, and I'm already like I realized like I got strapped into a roller coaster seat, and it was already going up, and it was too late to like get out. Like, it was just too late. There's nothing I could do except remain on the ride, the trip. Crazy. So, within just a really quick period of time, I go from just eating them and like, ha, to instantly I'm seeing, like I said, coming on way harder than it ever has before, and I'm seeing like visuals. You hear people talk about psychedelics, and you can tell they haven't done them too much. They're like, yeah, dude, I saw like a purple giraffe walk in, and it was like yelling at me and shit. Like, this was actually a point where it was on this kind of level. Like instantly I started seeing spiders crawling all over the floor, scaring the fuck out of me. Like I had not seen insane visuals like this so quick, so rapidly, and so dark, right? Everything in that garage, instantly, it was like this beam happened, and I was able to read every single person in that garage and just read their energy, just where their intentions are at, their mind, like, and I could just feel all these different, and I was just getting hit with this wave. I had no idea what to do with this huge tsunami wave of energy that I had no idea how to channel. I had no idea what I got myself into, and I had no idea what to do with it. I was on this roller coaster ride going up, scared as shit, did not know what to do, just in fear, panic, you name it. You know, right away it's like, I'm not coming back. Like I overshot it. Like I'm, you know, and got all scared. Remember standing up, looking at one of my buddies and being like, you know, you need to drive me over here to this other friend's house who I knew. I don't know, subconsciously I just kind of knew it was my safe haven. Pause real quick. Yeah. Sorry about that. I decided to make sure my phone was still charging. So, panicking, and I stand up and I point to one of my friends, and I just know I need to get out of there. It's just so much for me to handle. Just intensely tripping, and I'm still just coming up on this roller coaster. I haven't even gotten to the top or the drop. So I have a friend of mine drive me over to another friend's house who I knew kind of to be a safe haven. This house, I've always, I don't know, it's just been a very welcoming energy. And right when we open up this garage to leave where I'm at, you know, in just full fear mode, like just feeling like everything within me that I didn't want to face was rising to the surface, and I was seeing all this shit in my head that I just didn't want to see, or, you know, couldn't embrace, and just hallucinating not lightful, I'm not going to say things, like not lightful energies, entities, not lightful scenery. Everything that I was looking at was reflecting some sort of darkness, like within me, either that I hadn't dealt with, or like, you know, just fear projecting out of me. Anyways, and also I'm gonna try to cap this as much as I can, you know, because it's such an intense night, such a life-changing experience for me, and has a lot of different directions. It's really hard, you know, to like explain or truly convey exactly what I felt. And I think that's also another beautiful part of this, is because it's meant to be something personal and special. So this first half trip, I'm freaking out. As I open up the garage, I'm leaving this house. You know, the tree across the street is hissing at me like I'm saying, like the most intense visuals that I have had ever right away. And get in the car, I remember driving down the road was splitting as we're driving, freaking out. Right when I walk into this, they drop me off, walk into this other person's house, and they're like telling the homie, you know, about like what's going on. Like, hey, he just ate these shrooms, a large amount, you know, probably about a quarter ounce or so. And he ate them like maybe 30 minutes ago. He's still well on the come up. I remember hearing that sitting on the couch, like, oh, I'm so done. I'm so fucked. Like, I'm so done. But instantly when I walked into that person's house, it definitely was a lot brighter. Instantly it was like more vibrant. The dogs were like barking because I felt like they can sense me tripping. I can sense them sensing me, kind of thing. Trip kept going. So then it's just myself and you know, my friend, two friends, and they're kind of just observing me as I'm, you know, inevitably going through this endeavor. And so it's like I always reference it as a big football field, and like all that up to the halfway mark of the football field, like was all fear, and like just horrible feelings. Like I was feeling that, like, of just like life, and just very sad, just lower frequency feelings, right? And like when I was in that garage, like I would see this black wolf, right? And it would look like me in the way that its energy, like it carried itself. It was like me on a darker spectrum. When I'm at this other person's house and the trip continues to escalate, there came a point on this football field. I'm going. And that's a metaphorical thing I'm using. But like imagine, like, it's all fear, fear, fear. And then you reach that halfway mark. And all of a sudden, there's no more fear. And there's no more darkness that's consuming me. Or you know, in any way bringing me down. All that I was feeling, and the only two words that... It was like this breakthrough, right? And the only two words that were in my head were knowledge and infinite. And how everything is connected. Everything is connected. Everything is synchronized. And we are one with every being. We'll never be separate from our loved ones or our friends. Like, everything is connected. It's all one. And I'm just crying right at this point. I'm just overwhelmingly in tears, just crying my eyes out, because like I'm realizing like just like all of these epiphanies started just like fireworks. I remember telling my friend, like, give me a paper, like I need to try to write this stuff down, like, and I would like go to these different places, you know, because I had eaten mushrooms, done it before. I took such a large amount, you know, and this might sound like nutty to people, but yes, like traveling beyond this dimension, recognizing there's a whole other side to life beyond the physical form, you know, this vessel that we're in this dimension, and in this reality in which we perceive, like, it's this earth is just like a school, right? It's a big like university for, I feel like, our spirits to come to, exchange knowledge, and then we leave further on into our next spiritual endeavor, evolution, mission, you know, objective. And having all of these epiphanies out of nowhere throughout that halfway mark in that trip, it was all fear, and all of a sudden I broke through. And it was like, you know, I had been to church as a kid, and I've always heard about like the mind, body, spirit, and having that connected and aligned. But like, right then and there, I knew what it was like to have that feeling of mind, body, spirit. When I looked down on me, came to a point where I was seeing this blue, like almost like electro, you know, an aura, like a magnetic, I don't even know how to describe it. Just, I was seeing like this field, and it looked like almost like lightning, blue lightning, like surrounding the perimeter of my body throughout the whole thing. There's so many different things to tie together here. But the epiphanies I was having was life changing, and, you know, it's a blessing because it sticks with you your whole life, things like that. I feel there's so much more to say about this trip. And the whole time, that's it. Let me tie this in as well. So the whole time before that night even happened, months before that, I was witnessing things like aligning, and like certain things would happen, these certain events that would make me like just get this feeling inside. And then every time like an event like this would happen, it was like, you know, like I said, random things. But when the Celestine Prophecy, this one book just about spirituality, it was given to me, you know, that was one of those events, and it gave me that feeling inside. I remember reading the first chapter about how everything happens for a reason, right? And then all of a sudden I'm realizing all these things like everything, it would be give me these feelings. And then when the bag of shrooms was thrown to me, I got that same feeling that I'd got months before, with all these things like guiding me. And throughout the whole trip, there was something guiding me the whole time through everything. And then safely back into this dimension, safely back into the seat I was laying in. Okay. And realized that thing was not separate from me, and that thing was not separate from anybody. There's no name. Like, in words can only describe so much. Like, there's no true way for me to convey and explain every little thing that happened this night. You know, and I might look at this video and be like, oh, I wish I would have, you know, fluently more explained that, or, you know, went on this angle of it, but after that halfway mark had happened, and I'm crying my eyes out, I'm like just realizing so much, like, and I was like summoning before that, when I was really scared, I was like summoning people's energy to be there with me, to help comfort me, right? Not even just my trip sitters chilling there. Like, I was thinking about my mom, and like, you know, and like just people I love, and like I could feel their spirit and their presence with me, and like it was letting me know I'm okay, and like this is supposed to happen, and there's so much more. Like there's just so much more to this life, and like we get caught real hard in like the money thing, and like, you know, and just the trends, and then the peer pressure of feeling like, you know, we need to be something, because a lot of us haven't truly like discovered, or rather created ourselves. And just know like you're beautiful, and like this life right here, in a second, like blink, and like time, we're gonna be wrinkly, you know what I mean? And I don't say that in a depressive way, but just enjoy this experience, and also know like on the other side of this, like, is the comfiest couch. You know, sometimes that free fall, we don't know the unknown, but just know like it is a comfy couch waiting to catch you, and we are in the higher hands, and no matter what you believe in, like, much respect. So throughout the halfway mark of that trip, once I broke through, there was a blue wolf staring at me. It was the most beautiful thing. It was a blue wolf, and it was just staring at me with the most like courageous, like I don't know any other word, just very courageous look. And shout out to Mary J. Leal. She's done many drawings and all sorts of artwork for our band Strictly Skunk and for T Chronic. This was of my debut album Chronodelic, actually inspired from that night. And the inside of the album is this artwork, which is my blue wolf. This is when I crossed the halfway mark. I saw it's okay. It's all love. And I also choose to make this video. Why? Because junior year of high school this happened, right? But I feel like not only have I wanted to share it, I've been resisting on sharing like this video or even talking about that trip, because like, you know, on a camera, like you want to say everything that you feel, you know, and not look at the video and judge yourself for the way you're explaining that night, because I feel like, yeah, there's always so much more to explain. But anyway, like I'd realized like that wolf was like, you know, a spirit guide or my spirit animal. And, you know, at a point in the trip, I was seeing this pool of energy and like these little dots. It's like this universe pool, right, of like galaxy. And I was seeing all these dots, right, and there was like a perimeter of dots, and all these different colored dots were going to these different sides of this pool. And what it was people's manifestations gravitating to them based on their frequency. And I was able to see on like a global spectrum how like manifestation is a very real thing. You know, months after this trip, I was just trying to, you know, tell the story to people, or, you know, my father or friends, or just about something very emotional. It was very, very, very emotional for me, because I got a glimpse into another side of this life that, like, you know, I feel like a lot of people don't get to witness in their lives. Some people live their whole lives with like the shutters, you know, and there's a whole other side to this life. And we are so blessed. And while I was talking about the Chronodelic album, one of the songs on there is called Universal, featuring Caitlin Carl. Shout out Caitlin. Universal, YOUNIVERSOUL. Universal. That's one of the songs on there. And if I could describe that night, that realization, that epiphanies, in one word, it would be universal. YOU, universal, because we are the universe. And like everything is one it's a small world out there. All of a sudden that night, you know, I had received all of these insights and almost like just universal laws that I never read anything to understand that. It was like already instilled in me. All of a sudden it was like things that I was not aware that I knew. And also leading me to realize, like, be aware that you're unaware. And as long as you can do that, you'll continue to grow. Those who think they already know remain enclosed. But at the same time, there are those deep life questions that all of us wonder so deeply, and we, go through so many different religions to find. In respect to every religion, we're all connected, But, we search and we search and we search because we want to know these things. Like, we all want to know the truth of it. But, like, what I came to understand in that experience was that it was already in us. It wasn't something you can write on paper, That's why I was telling my friend, to give me a piece of paper so I could write, and it's beyond words. It's also a beautiful part about music. It connects us all. Legend. And I know that there's so much more I want to say about this night. And I know I'm capsuling so many different feelings that I was feeling, but I went through so many different places. I felt this place I was in was like people were trapped. I went through a place where like I felt animal energy, like it was like we all wonder like dog heaven or like animal, heaven, astral planes, nirvana, whatever, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. Like, like there's way more to this, and absolutely the, I don't even care if people even say, oh, now he's going into this conspiracy theory shit. No, there's absolutely like what I feel, and I'm sure many others who have had very spiritual journeys in which we all do. That's another thing. Never let spirituality become superiority. We all have doors open that each other doesn't have open, because all of us exchange knowledge, because this earth, like I said, is a big school. Anyways, what I was about to finish a sentence on is that absolutely that this truth is suppressed, and absolutely, like, when I say they don't want us to know, like, I'm not joking. Like, it's really, if everybody got to get a glimpse of that, this world would change overnight. Also, that being said, like, respect to all those good people out in the world. Anyone watching this who just like means well and has a good intention, like, thank you. And thank you for being on this planet and spreading that light. We need more of that. We need more good examples. We need more powerful women for our girls growing up to have someone to look up to in a positive way. We need more guys to stand up and like, show that the trends that are being followed aren't really always the highest frequencies. And I know we're all grown, we're all kids and stuff, but like, we need light workers to show, like, calling a girl a bitch and a slut and all this stuff like, isn't cool. And like, we need women to stand up and empower. We need more empowerment in our generation, and I feel like that's also why I'm choosing to share this now, is because like, I think what better time than when things are shifting so much and like the youth is on the rise. So like, fellow men and women of my generation, younger generations, and just continue to rise, take each other's hands and know that you're one. And like, we're all like just a painting on this universal canvas. And every day we wake up is a new sunrise, it's a new painting in the sky, and every night when we go to sleep, it's a new painting in the sky, and every time it's different. Life is so precious, and, just epiphanies from that night, I hold with me in these mantras, because, like, it really will, it just helps me, and, like, I have all sorts of little things, got my wolf chilling over here, but, like I said, I'm probably gonna get done with this video and be like, damn, I wish I would have said that, or I forgot to mention this part or that. And if that's the case, it's okay. I'll add more clips, or, make a new video or something. But just wanted to share, that experience. It was such an overwhelming night, and it started from the most, so yin and yang started from like the most darkest of dark, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm in the most angelic space that I can even put to words. Can't even fully fathom. I'm very happy though that I shared this video, because it's been a long time, and why would I not want to share something like that? I feel like, oh, it's so personal, and like, I think the reason why I didn't want to share this video is because like I just feel like I'm gonna leave out so much because it's been such a long time. It's hard to capsule all that, and it was so much that it's hard to bring. You go in these other dimensions and realms, you capsule this knowledge and you want to bring it back to Earth to share. Like that's like the goal, is like just bringing back information and knowledge to help further one another. Psychedelics can be definitely just used as such a great medicine, when used properly and in the right intention. When I was almost done with the trip, was another blue wolf back there. Haha. I was almost done with the trip. Well, almost done. The next day you were still like, but it was one of the last hallucinations. But it was me. I was laying on the couch. Come back down. Homie turns off the TV that was in front of me. Pretty big TV. And when you're looking at a TV that's off, if you're just sitting there on the couch for a sec, you look at TV, you can kind of see the reflection of stuff behind you. You can see like you yourself almost in the TV. It's off, but you can see the reflection. Laying in my bed, or not in the bed, the couch in the living room. I look at that TV off. And right behind me was what us humans imagine aliens to look like, with like almost like the jelly bean head, was standing right behind me. Skinny, like this skinny, frail thing with the jelly bean looking head. And I remember closing my eyes, and that was the last, being, hallucination, quote unquote, that I saw that night. And I remember waking up the next day, and one of my friends had wrote a note that said, like, you can't forget what you already know because of, like, what I'd experienced, last night. And a beautiful time. I love you all, and thanks for listening. If you've made it this far in the video, sorry if it seems like I was kind of going off on different directions of a tangent. That's hard to explain and categorize a night like that. Life is precious. It's such a miracle to even be here.